Today on Hampton Roads Business Weekly, we continue our series looking at nonprofit organizations.
Plus, the business of keeping other businesses well-staffed and the importance of including your employees when developing a product.
We have this and more next on Hampton Roads Business Weekly. Hello and welcome to Hampton Roads Business Weekly, a look at the businesses and entrepreneurs making a difference in Hampton Roads. I'm Zach Miller.
And I'm Cheryl Tan. Okay, you've landed the contract of a lifetime. Now what? Are you ready? Do you have the staff in place? Take a look at what you need to know before the work begins. Imagine being awarded a contract that will change the future of your company. That's what happened recently to Maria Herbert, the CEO of MCH Consulting Services based in Suffolk. First of all, congratulations, Maria.
Thank you.
I want to know what happened when you got this enormous contract dropped into your lap.
So the first thing that happened was I cried because obviously I had been waiting for a long time. This particular contract took 3 years to be awarded, and there were 125 submissions, and out of the 125, there were 10 of us that were initially awarded the contract. So it was very exciting, and I recognized right away that this meant that I was going to be going from 0 to 60 overnight. So I was very excited, and I did cry.
So the lead up, your 3 years, pins and needles. Am I right in that? Like, what was happening as you were anticipating perhaps getting this contract, or maybe not even being allowed to go to the next step? What was that like?
So I did all the typical things that a normal defense contractor would do. You respond to RFPs, you try to build your brand, and you try to make sure that when and if the right contract comes through the door, you have all of your infrastructure in place. So you make sure that you meet the right attorney, the right CPA, the right HR director, the right people that's going to be supporting your business are available and ready, and they know you, they know your business, so that when you're ready and flip the switch and it's no drama. Mm-hmm. So I was doing that.
So the switch has been flipped. What happens now? What are the challenges that you're facing now?
Well, the challenges are, you still don't have all of the infrastructure pieces in place because you literally cannot get everything up and running in, 1 day or 3 weeks or even 6 months. So you're still trying to figure out, what do you do now that I've got this big thing in my lap? How do I really get the best bang for my buck? And at the same time, you still are responding to other RFPs, you're still doing all the other things. So now you have to do multiple things, wear multiple hats, and now you have people, you have staff, you have infrastructure people behind you that now you have to deal with that. So I always say you don't know what you don't know until you actually start doing the things. And so it's a learning process. It's been fun. It's not quite as scary, but it's still a little scary. But you still continue to move forward and do all the things that you need to do that you did when you didn't have a large contract.
When we talked earlier, you were saying that you were a fairly small firm before all of this, and now will become a much, much bigger one.
Right, that's the hopes.
What are some of the things that you have in place to help you with that transition, that move up?
Well, the first thing that I did, which I think is very important, is you need to create a team around you, build a team around you that can grow as you grow. And one of the major things, because you're spending money, is you need to have a financial infrastructure in place. So being a member of Women in Defense, Greater Hampton Roads, allowed me the opportunity to meet some great bankers. And I have established really good relationship with them. And I've developed an infrastructure with that so that as I need more, I can go and get more. They know me, I know them. Also, I'm a graduate of Civic Class 2016, where I got an opportunity to meet some very cool people in there. And same thing, you meet attorneys, you meet CPAs, you meet the people that you need to grow with. And so you build relationships so that when you're ready, all you have to do is say, okay, and you actually have a real relationship with these people. It's not like you are just calling somebody for the very first time and asking them to believe in you and have some buy-in into your small little firm.
So what happens now? I guess a lot of people are getting phone calls.
Yeah, a lot of people are getting phone calls. So same thing, you just move forward, you try to respond to every single opportunity that you have, which is part of this large contract. It's a multi-award IDIQ. When you hire new people, you expand that element of it. So you're bringing new people into your nest, if you will. And what I'm learning is every city that I do business in, I have to have a new requirement. So I'm learning a ton of stuff, things that I didn't know. Many of the opportunities that I have now are opportunities that are outside of the Commonwealth. So that means that I have to do a lot more research on what do I do. Let's say if I'm in Florida, how do I do business in Florida? So these are some of the challenges that you end up dealing with as a result of this new contract.
Maria, thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
You have a great idea, but you just don't know how to get it manufactured? Well, here's a great resource right here in our backyard. This is Kasha with Versability up in Hampton, and she's going to tell you how you can get that manufactured next on Hampton Roads Business Weekly. Welcome back to Hampton Roads Business Weekly. We're here with Kasha, the CEO and president of Versability in Hampton, Virginia. What's going on, Kasha?
We're a very diverse organization, a comprehensive provider of services for people with disabilities. So we've been proudly serving citizens with disabilities in this region over 60 years. And we do everything from early childhood services for 0 to 3. We have community living residences, we have day support programs, and we have 4 diverse employment programs because people with disabilities really want to work.
I think one of the things that really intrigued me about you guys is you have over 1,000 employees.
We do.
64 years in business.
Yes.
And you're a nonprofit, right? I look at our region as maybe the nonprofit capital of the world. And a lot of them do really great things but go under. And you guys have been able to stay afloat for so long and to help so many different people. Like, what makes you guys be able to stay afloat through tough times and many, many decades?
We say that being a nonprofit is a tax status, but not a business model. And nonprofits really do need to be businesses. And one of our greatest strengths is that we really rely on earned revenue. So through our federal contracting, through other commercial jobs we do for local, regional, and international businesses, those things actually help to support our mission. And we have a very flexible and innovative team, and we really consider ourselves an entrepreneurial organization, even though we've grown to the point where we have a budget of $44 million and 1,000 employees.
That's a big budget. Walk me through maybe one of your clients and how some of the 1,000 employees could get involved.
Very good. I'll start with our federal contracting.
Okay.
We have 14 federal contracts. 12 of them are here in this region. And then we actually have 2 that are nationwide in scope. So I'll talk about the 2 nationwide ones. So first, we are the ship provisioner for the U.S. Navy.
Oh, wow.
So Versability holds the prime contract to put food on ships of all classes and sizes for the U.S. Navy, from submarines to carriers, at the 6 major ports on the east and west coast, and includes Hawaii and Guam.
Wow.
So these are fantastic jobs for people with disabilities, where our team in Norfolk makes $19.40 an hour, plus now $4.41 in benefits per hour. So
wow.
Great jobs for people with disabilities, and they take tremendous pride in their work and the absolute readiness of our Navy. Navy ships do not go anywhere without 21 days of fruit on them. So not even crossing the Hampton Roads Harbor. And so when the fleet has to sortie for a hurricane, every single vessel that's in port in Norfolk has to have at least that much food for the complement of sailors who are on that vessel.
How do you guys find those with disabilities to then become employees? Is that a process that you guys have to go through? Is it?
Absolutely. We have to make sure that people have qualifying disabilities to be part of our programs, because that's our mission. So we work with all of the workforce development entities in the area. So we're on the boards of Peninsula Council for Workforce Development and Opportunity, Inc. I'm a past chair of the Peninsula Chamber of Commerce, and I'm on the Hampton Roads Chamber Regional Board. So we're really tapping in. We work with VEC, we work with the one-stop centers. So we work with everyone to create jobs for people with disabilities, because it's a very sad statistic that we can do better as a community, and I challenge everyone to help us do better, is that only 28% of people with disabilities nationwide are employed.
The business owner, the teams that are associated not with you, what are some reservations that they've had that you've had to help them kind of get through to maybe hire you guys, and how does it make it a seamless process?
Well, whether conscious or unconscious, people often doubt, can people with disabilities really do this? So again, we prove it. And we first sit down with your team, and our business partners give us great testimonials. The gentleman who developed a bandage that we manufacture in the clean room, he said people with versatility think, people may think it's people with disabilities that it's not going to be as good. So our attitude from top down to the bottom is we have to do it better. And we get the highest industry certifications in the lines of business in which we operate. We're ISO 9001 right now and going for 2015. And we received 0 non-conformances in our initial certification and our 2 subsequent. So that's the kind of standard that we bring to our business partners.
Excellent standard, I love it. So if people were interested in learning more about you or Versability, where can they find out more about it?
First, our website, versability.org, our Facebook page, and our main phone number is 757-896-6461.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you.
He became a business owner just before the start of the recession in 2008, and since then, Simeon Fuller has been rolling with the punches. He's going to talk more about his business, Medical Staffing Solutions, coming up on HR Business Weekly. We're talking today with Simeon Fuller, the president of Medical Staffing Solutions. Simeon, thank you so much for talking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Your business started right before the recession in 2008. You were in a career.
Yes.
And this opportunity, right at that opportune time, I guess, presented itself. What made you decide to grab it?
Well, the gentleman that I worked for had 3 offices, one here, one in Charlottesville, and one in Richmond, Virginia. And he had always been very successful, and he said that he had gotten tired of working so hard and he wanted to do something different. And he had bought some commercial real estate and asked me would I be interested in purchasing the office here. I had run this office for 11 and a half years.
And it's a medical staffing office.
Yes.
And so you served offices throughout the community with their medical staff needs. And you've had some challenges since then, especially the timing. And you're laughing, smiling now. But can you talk about some of those challenges that you had to deal with right off the bat?
Well, initially we got the business, and I knew most of the clients here, so they had no problems migrating over to the new name. But the recession hit shortly after. And we had one large client, and what they did was they pulled all of their vendors together, said that the economic forecast wasn't good and that they were going to change. And even though they never mentioned my industry by name, I knew that they were talking to us. So we went back to the office. I had my right-hand person, Leon Johnson, with me, and we were talking, what are we going to do? Because we still wanted to eat and live indoors. So as fate was have it, we had another customer step up and get more service from us. And then we started offering our services to the government.
And that was a learning curve too, because you had not done that previously.
No. I put on a tie, I went over to Portsmouth Naval. They told me that's not how you market to us. So I had to come back to the office and figure out how to market to them.
Who did you reach out to, or what did you do to figure out the right way to market to the new clients that you wanted?
Well, I did a lot of research on the computer. Later on, Norfolk has I forget the name of the agency, but a part of the city that helps businesses develop, and I got a lot of information from them. And ODU also has a center to help small businesses, and they were helpful in getting me the information I needed.
There are a lot of services out there to help small businesses who, if they did a little bit of homework, could find and get the help that they need.
That's
so in
correct.
2017, how big is your company now? How have you grown?
We've grown quite a bit. We have approximately 77 employees now, and our revenues have grown tremendously.
There's a lot that went into growing the company that you did. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things you did right to get you to where you are today?
Some of the things that we did right is, one thing is we put customers first. Our values is that we serve, we build relationships, we care, and we feel if we do those things right, then we'll be a success. So we always make ourselves available to our clients. Like one thing that we do is we have a live person from the office answer the phones 24 hours a day. We visit our clients to make sure that they're happy with the services that we're providing. We stay in close contact with our employees, and that's just some of the things that we do.
It sounded like you were an accidental entrepreneur. It's
Yeah.
not something that you were dreaming about,
Right.
that you were thinking about as you were on your day job. What are some of the things that you have skill set wise that have helped you get where you are today? Maybe you've grown those skills, maybe you just have them, but what do you think some of those important skills are?
Well, I'm a people person, and I think that I have done a good job building a good team around me of people that have skill sets that I don't have. And then you gotta have to have faith and belief that what you're doing and working for is gonna work, even when it doesn't seem like it's working the way you want it to.
There were some long nights, weren't there?
Yes, and some hard days, but there's good rewarding days as well.
Simeon, thank you very much and congratulations.
All right, thank you.
As crazy as it seems, you actually should listen to your customers when developing a product. We have Sara Zimmerman, and we're going to talk about why it's so important and how to do it next on Hampton Roads Business Weekly. Welcome back to Hampton Roads Business Weekly. We're here with Sara Zimmerman of Sumitomo and Regent alum. Sara, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome.
So a customer is talking, or we're talking about product development with different manufacturing tools and how to get stuff out. Should you listen to a customer beforehand?
Always, always.
Why are some of those, why?
At the end of the day, if you do not have a product that appeals to your customer, you won't move it. It won't sell. We've had a couple incidences in my career where we've decided to design something and we designed it without showing it to the customer first. And performance-wise, the product worked great. No issues. I could prove to them all day long that it lasts and it would run. But when we took it to them, they did not like the way it looked. They said, Sara, this is great. I understand that it has the same performance as this, but it doesn't physically look like I want it to. And that was one of the lessons that I learned very early in my career. Just because it's perfect on the engineering side and the design side, if the customer cannot see them using it in their environment, then you're not going to sell it.
Now, are these a lot of custom products, or are they a lot of products that go to multiple people? And so how do you understand that one customer and the other customer can get something comparable?
Yeah, so for our products, we sell them to a lot of different industries, but we also make modifications to the customer for niche industries. So we might start with a core product that's sold to a lot of different industries and then modify it for a specific industry. And the example I gave you was we had a core product, we wanted to approach a different industry, so we modified it and thinking that we could bring the cost down and present it to the customer, and then they in fact would rather pay more money for the standard product than what we designed.
How do you understand if a customer is willing to pay for something before it's actually to production, or do you guys kind of force them to beforehand?
No, we do a lot of market research beforehand to do the value of the product that we think that we can sell it at. Over the years, I've learned different techniques. One is studying a similar product to your competitors and benchmarking against that. The other thing in our industry, we sell a product that is sold by, an example, torque. So there's a weight to the product, and there's also a performance to the product, and some people will look at it and say, for this amount of money and this amount of weight, I expect to pay a certain value.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If someone was in the customer's shoes, should they be asking you and pushing back at certain things?
So when I do face-to-face interviews with the customers, I usually start with, this is what we're thinking about, and do you think you would use it? And if you would use it, then, you know, what do I need? Am I going down the right path? Those kind of conversations are what we have.
And when a customer is giving you information, how do you internally validate that they're giving you information that is going to be able to go with other businesses, with other customers as well?
So that's a great question. That's why you ask more than one one particular customer. So, we will take the feedback from several sources from that. And we use not only the face-to-face interviews, focus groups is another way that we do that. We have taken product that is under preliminary development and taken it to a trade show, and then gotten lots of information from everybody that comes by that particular trade show that day.
Yeah, I think there's nothing better than getting real feedback from people. How often should you be getting that feedback? Every day, every minute, every year? Yeah.
That would be really nice. So for us, it depends on what we've also learned is you only have so much time. So you have to pick your projects and then work through them. So usually when we're doing market research, depending on the complexity of the product, it's a 3 to 6 month time frame for us.
And how are you showing them? Physically, online?
It can be both. So for our products, we do a lot of design in 3D Inventor. So we are able to build 3D models and then talk to our customers that way. And then we can also do 3D printing models of the product as well.
What about nightmares listening to your customers?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. I have gone out to interview a particular customer and they said, well, that's your job. I don't want to tell you what to do. So, I don't get that often, but sometimes I do. And I think for the most part, our customers are excited to give you input because when the product comes out, they feel like they've contributed.
They've invested into it and it's a better product that way. Very interesting. Sarah, appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
And with that, we wrap up another edition of Hampton Roads Business Weekly.
Make sure you like us on Facebook and Twitter and head over to hrbusinessweekly.com to get more information and watch previous shows.
For Hampton Roads Business Weekly, I'm Zach Miller.
And I'm Cheryl Tan. We'll see you next week.
Hampton Roads Business Weekly, sponsored by Regent University and produced by 13 News Now.